If you are born a woman, and specifically if you identify as a straight woman, you are raised to become a pick-me. And before you go, I'm also the same. It's cool. I was also raised to be a pick-me, and to a large extent, I've been a pick-me all my life. So it's important that before we start this video, we all kind of admit to the fact that we've been conditioned to be pick-me's, and we are pick-me's because we've been conditioned to be chosen since we were born. And it all started when we tried and failed to be chosen by our unloving, narcissistic, and emotionally mature parents. And unfortunately still continues to this day until we finally address it and eradicate the attitude and the willingness and the devotion to being picked. And we instill a new passion in our lives, which is choosing ourselves with passion and determination, and even obsession if we must. So when we first hear the word pick me, it's kind of a shameful thing we call other women, and admittedly I do it too. But it really describes a specific type of woman, and usually we think it's the woman who wants to be romantically chosen. But underneath it all, and if we just think about it more broadly, it's not just the woman who wants to be romantically chosen by a man, it's the woman that craves male validation and male approval more than anything. She will defend a man before she defends any woman. This is the woman that is always siding with men's perspective, men's opinions. She's the one that really thinks men know better than her and everybody. And the thing is, the traditional pick-me that I'm discussing here is the woman who she really thinks that she's playing by the rules of what is a rigged game, that is patriarchy. And she will somehow at the end win because she's siding with the most powerful men, right? So she will get the man, she will be approved, and she will side with them, and she's gonna leave you hanging on the sidelines, you didn't get chosen, blaming you for your own victimization. But to break down the pick-me is someone who truly just learned how to perform for love. She just needs to be chosen. She may be trying to be chosen now by men, but she's always been trying to be chosen by her father or her narcissistic mother. She's the woman who mistakes being chosen for feeling worthy. She thinks her worth lies in being chosen. The pick-me is someone who will readily and quickly abandon herself if that means that she will be liked, loved, or validated. She's on a constant performance of how she thinks she should be acting to garner likes of people. Not Instagram likes, but she wants to be liked by men. Because the pick-me deep down thinks that winning approval from men means earning safety. And she's not wrong to think that. We think how we've been conditioned in the experiences of being a woman in our lifetime and before us and before us. I think a shared experience of all women would be that men will keep you safe from men. So when she is liked by men and she's approved of by men, she feels protected from at least those men, which it's an illusion, but it's still a feeling because she needs to feel protected. Men are protecting her from men, right? And so she has a lot of what she thinks security in that form. The pick-me woman is addicted to male validation, and the pick-me woman will attack other women in the same way that a man would attack other women. And I've said this in another one of my videos. One time I posted something on TikTok about, the women that are teaching you to do sort of to get princess treatment are sort of basically telling you to infantilize yourself. And the comments were like, look at her, she's just not chosen. You see, she's too old to be chosen. That's why she's saying that. She's like, they were making comments about me under my own posts worse than a man would. Like, they were saying things that men would say. Like a woman saying that another woman, she's, oh, nobody's going to choose her. She's saying that as if she's not a woman who is going to grow. Like, it just felt like really disconnected. But this is the type of woman who is acting like a man to other women. The way she judges other women, the way she's cruel to other women is the same way a man would be cruel, which is usually dehumanizing ways, like judging their bodies and shaming in that way. The pick-me women will always attack you for the sake of defending a man. And the pick-me woman, she takes a lot of pride in being maintained by men. She's saying she's high maintenance, but really she's low maintenance because all she needs is somebody to provide for her. And she just wants to obey. That's pretty low maintenance. A high maintenance woman is a woman who expects you to show up for her emotionally, expects you to have emotional maturity, conversations, expects to be treated as a human, an equal human being. She doesn't want to be objectified. She doesn't want to be treated like a child. High maintenance woman has expectations. She has boundaries that aren't necessarily about how much you spent on her in terms of money. She expects more. And that's the true high maintenance, at least in my book. If I think about the easiest way to take care of someone, I think is to just give them money and buy them gifts and pay their bills. I think that's quite a low effort thing, and it could be just a baseline of what somebody can do for you. But are they here for you when you're struggling? Do they allow you to have all of your experiences? Do they listen to you when you talk? Do they know you? Are they curious to know you? Do they respect your boundaries? If they've done something once and it bothered you, have they taken note to never do it again? Because I'm telling you, as someone, even if I'm a woman, as someone who my sort of, it's not even a love language, but my easiest way to show love to those that I care about is to buy them stuff. I love buying things for the people that I love. And I love spending money for those that I love. I just think it's just, I don't think of it as a something, but it's easy. It's easier than thinking, what do they feel? Or, it's a very easy way to care of someone is to provide for them, in my opinion. And the pick-me woman also is, first of all, terrified of being alone. She cannot even fathom of a life without a man. Not because she can't stay alone, but because she can't live without having that approval. Because who is she if she doesn't get that approval? It is so ingrained into the pick-me girl, to the pick-me woman, that being chosen is the ultimate flex, and the ultimate sort of thing that we have to pursue, that she doesn't consider lifetime outside of it, which is why a lot of the times the pick-me woman will be in a relationship with somebody, she's not happy with him, she's whatever, and she won't leave, not because she's not able to, but because she's thinking, I don't want to start over with someone else. She doesn't think, oh, I could just be on my own. She's thinking, I'm going to have to do this all over again because I have to find someone, so I might as well stay with this one that I kind of already know, so I'm not having to go through this again. The pick-me never entertains the idea of being alone because she sees that as a shameful thing. Because in her own internalized patriarchal sort of conditioning, she thinks that a woman who is alone, unchosen, is not of value and is not as much of a value. To which I have to say this. If we think in terms of how used women are in their relationships, the value that we could have had can be really ruined when we have a partner that is draining us from our life force and is deducting our value and our worth from a human, whole human, to somebody who is devoted to him, or some sort of like decoration that is standing next to him, giving him points for the other men to see that he scored a woman that looks like this or acts like this or is like that. And so in a way, being put next to a man lessens your perceived value in this world, because depending on who that man is or how he treats you or how he sees you, you're not being seen for truly how worthy you are, which is why then, in the case of being chosen, let's say by the typical sort of like you try to look a certain way to be chosen by a certain type of man, you will pursue youth for your entire life, and you'll be 70 still trying to look 20, all because you feel like you won't continue to be chosen in that way, right? And it's a shame, because there's more to you than just your looks and your youth. Not that these won't open doors for you, but there's more to it. So the pick me woman is really very compliant with patriarchal ideas of what women are and what they're worth. And she sees that in herself. And then she judges women for that too. So the pick me, if you were to ever say something to her, she will say, it's because you're not chosen. And I am. You're jealous. And you're like, sure, I'm jealous. There's no really winning an argument like that with people like that, because they view themselves as worthy only because of their chosen and because of who chose them. And the argument is always that you're not chosen. So you see, that's the only value. And that's the type of value that men would attribute to you, right? It's like, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So she's very compliant with all that. And this is the type of woman that is always trying to make herself better and is always thinking about the male gaze when she does that, not just in appearance, but in how she behaves. And the ultimate goal of a pick-me, of course, is to be chosen. And the ultimate goal of a pick-me is to be someone's wife. Because the pick-me is living in the past, where if you're not someone's wife, it means you're not worthy enough to be chosen by a man. But I think in nowadays, if we really think about it, the woman who isn't chosen by a man, maybe the woman who is living in her own terms, and there's nothing shameful about that. There's nothing shameful anymore, and there shouldn't be nothing shameful with not choosing the traditional trajectory of pursuing being chosen over living life on your own terms, right? So the pick-me shaming the life attitude of not following what is 100% patriarchal scripts of marrying and having kids as the ultimate life path for women. So how do we heal from our own inner pick-me? And if those things that I said may ring true to you, you can understand how we're all kind of like, conditioned with that. And we've begun to view ourselves based on how men see us, because we've learned since a young age that when we operate in this world, how we are viewed and whether we are liked and whether we are found attractive is the most important thing. And so we begin to view ourselves through that lens as we move through the world. And so we constantly edit ourselves and judge ourselves based on it too, right? But to heal from our inner pick-me, we have to really dismantle the pick-me culture. That the good starting point would be that. And that would be to stop listening to women who are telling us and you and everybody how to become a woman that men choose. Like every time someone says, men, you like it when you just have to scroll. Like we can't keep entertaining what men want from us, what men like, what we should do to be chosen. Like if we keep entertaining that, we are continuously installing more and more filters as to how we're going to continue to filter ourselves based on that lens. Right? And we think it doesn't register, but it does. We move through life continuously trying to make ourselves somebody who men would like. So we will spend hours consuming content like how to be magnetic, how to get him to choose you, how to make him obsessed with you, how to be seductive, how to get princess treatment. Like it's, whoa. This is like all male-centric content, but it's geared towards making you feel more powerful. But really, your power is only coming through the currency of male validation and male attention, which eventually will expire. And what do we do afterwards? We have to build something more here than just the currency that patriarchy says that we have, because that expires. And if we don't get chosen, then we can't see ourselves as someone worthy. The true antidote of being a pick-me is to feel finally chosen, right? That's what's missing. But being chosen for becoming someone else and betraying and self-abandoning is not going to heal you. It's actually going to make it worse to keep up with all of this performance. The true antidote is to feel truly chosen, and that means to choose yourself. And that is a concept that we're having a hard time seeing play out and be like, what does it mean to choose myself? To which I have an easy way to explain to you, and I think it will help you, it will help drive this home better. I want you to think about a man that you chose in your past or you're currently choosing. And make a list of the things that you're doing for this man that you chose. How do you love him? How do you take care of him? What do you tolerate? What do you do for him? What do you know about him? Everything. Everything that you do when you choose someone. Right? I listen to him. I love taking care of him. I love giving him affirmations. I love doing this for him. I do that for him. I understand that when he does this, he does that. All the things that you do for the man that you choose. And then I want you to flip that list and ask yourself whether you are doing any of these things for yourself. Or you're only doing all of these things for this man in the hopes that he does it for you and in avoidance to do them for yourself. And if you feel that there's absolutely no point in choosing yourself the way you've been choosing others, then you have to sit with how tragic that is. That someone like you, who used to be a little girl who came in this world, grown into a full woman, doesn't think that she deserves to choose herself and to at least give herself what she's so quickly and readily and willingly wanting to give to others, and specifically to men. And sit with that tragedy and understand, why is that, right? Why? Why do we feel this way for what should be the most important person in our lives, which is ourselves? Because if we don't have ourselves, we can't be here. Like, this is the whole essence. And then that will lead you down a path of hopefully connecting with your past and what happened to you, and really getting in touch with the true reason and the true experience of not being chosen, not being something that just happened now, but it's something that happened in the past that you're still running away from. A woman who isn't a pick-me, so a woman who chooses herself, lives her life in alignment with the knowledge that she's worthy and good enough. Because if we don't even think that for ourselves, this would be the bare minimum. We go out in life and tolerate all sorts of things from all sorts of people that we seem to deem worthy and good enough because we're chasing them and we want their love and we want their approval. But we won't do it for ourselves. So a woman who chooses herself will have to be a woman who also is brave enough to look at herself and learn about herself and try to heal herself the way she's been trying to heal and fix everybody in her life, right? This is not unknown to us as a way of being and as a way of living. And also, the woman who chooses herself doesn't think it's a waste of time to spend time with her emotions, to spend time with herself, to allow her feelings to exist, to accept herself, to be kind to herself, to talk to herself, to nourish herself, to pour into herself, not in the way that makes her more beautiful, but in the way that makes her feel more nurtured, taken care of. The woman who chooses herself will raise herself. The woman who chooses herself will rescue herself. The woman who chooses herself will no longer self-abandon and betray herself for the sake of being chosen. So how to heal your inner pick-me? Give her what she needs. She needs someone to fully choose her and commit to her and devote themselves to her. You may have translated that she needs it from a man because society is telling you that that's what is expected of you, and she kind of feels like this will give her the hit that she needs. But deep down, if you look deep down through your true history, if you do a bit of a childhood audit about what happened to this woman, to this girl who now is a woman, you will see that the devotion that she wants and the feeling of being chosen that she pursues is something much, much deeper. It's just that patriarchy is sort of aligned with that existing wound that was created, but the true wound is to be fully and unconditionally chosen from within, because it never happened when it should have. And maybe it's time that it did. I'll see you soon.